So welcome back. I'm Tim.
And I am Devin.
Here we are to go over a couple more things about hydraulics.
Yep, some common causes and some failures of overheating. So we're just going to jump right into that today. So Tim, I have a machine. What's some common causes I have for overheating or just failure of my system?
One thing that we didn't cover is just normal wear and tear, just high hours on a machine. When you have high hours on a machine, bearings tend to fail. That is going to be some of the worst contamination. If bearings fail, you get little tiny fragments of metal that are floating in the system. That is by far the worst contamination that you can have. The little fragments, little debris can clog up valves. It can clog up heat exchangers.
So that can even lead to my cylinders.
That can lead to your cylinders.
Okay.
Cylinder failure just over time. They get worn out and metal can chew out of the cylinder and just contaminate the whole system.
Which then will result in having to pull pretty much everything apart and going over it?
Yeah, that is going to result in a complete hydraulic system teardown where you'll have to tear all the cylinders off, you'll have to tear the pumps off, you'll have to tear the plumbing off of it, and just
go through all the valves, and you got to flush basically everything.
Flood, yeah, which is extremely cost prohibitive. It's very expensive, very labor intensive, so it's a very good idea to monitor the hours on your machine, and once it starts getting up in high hours, you may want to just pull off components, pumps, cylinders, prior to them failing to prevent.
So what is high hours, per se? Just for an example.
So a machine's, I would say, high hours generally in the 7,000 to 10,000 hour range is going to be kind of high. We have guys that send in pumps off of machines that have over 10,000 hours, and the pumps, cylinders look good. So it's just all depends on how hard the machine has been worked.
It's primitive to maintain your machine.
Yeah, changing filters, changing fluids, oil samples, making sure that there's no contaminants in your oil. It's a very good idea to pull oil samples and then have that analyzed. So like when you send it out for analyzation, they'll be like, hey, your oil has a high brass content to it. So that would mean that piston slippers inside of a piston pump would be starting to fail.
That gets all through your system.
And aluminum, that might lead to a cylinder failing, aluminum pistons in a cylinder. It kind of leads you in a direction of what you need to maintain next and what might be the next point of failure.
So most of us know, like, car maintenance is just for, say, 3,000 to 5,000 miles, since they're gauged by miles, would be a oil change. What would be the common hydraulic fluid change on a piece of machinery?
So that's all going to be specific to your manufacturer.
Okay.
In the owner's manual, in the service manual, it'll give you how many hours is required for filter changes.
Gotcha.
Or when they want to have the oil just completely changed.
So everything's off of your machine.
Yeah,
you need to go back to OEM and go back and make sure that you're looking at that owner's manual and doing your proper maintenance on time, which is going to be gauged by hours.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.